contact, realizing he had a defender there, able in midair to collect himself, go behind his back.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. I'm your host Sean David. I hope you're ready for your weekly dose of old school NBA basketball. Now in today's episode, I want to talk about the 1996 Chicago Bulls and give you 7 reasons why I think that they are the best team that ever existed on this planet. But before we dive into that, I want to ask you guys for a small favor. If you're new to the show, please subscribe to the channel and also like the video if you enjoy the content. And I would say enough said, now let's dive right into today's episode. All right, how do we start? As I said, I will narrow it down to 7 different categories, so let's start with number 1. The first reason was the team chemistry on the Chicago Bulls. Now, if you watched the Last Dance documentary, then you know that the 1996 Bulls also had their scuffles and sometimes in practice also had their incidents. Still, this is something which is totally normal in team sport. But all in all, this team was on a mission, and on the court you could really see that they had chemistry. The result was beautiful team basketball from player 1 to player 12. This team was also blessed with many great passers, if it was a Scottie Pippen or even a Longley. Players with great court vision, they were perfectly suited for the triangle offense. But this is only one of the reasons why the 1996 Chicago Bulls were so great.
Dennis Rodman brought a critical piece to the puzzle, as the Bulls now boasted the game's most formidable trio. Carving out a vital presence, Rodman epitomized the meaning of team player.
You got it, Dennis. You got it. That's enough, man. That's enough.
But what's unique about this team is that in years past, teams generally have had to take some time to gel as a group. And this year you've added Michael back to the mix, Dennis Rodman as a starter, and they came together so quickly.
And the next reason was the determination of Michael Jordan. Now, we all know that MJ was a highly competitive player, probably the craziest we have ever seen. But in the 1996 season, even Michael Jordan reached a new level of determination. But why was that? Well, one season prior, he got embarrassed by the Orlando Magic in the playoffs, and this made Jordan work harder than ever before. And the result was that MJ came back in the shape of his life, and to me, he was really in his prime in that year.
I think it was all a challenge for the whole team. I mean, we all knew that it was a little bit of a failure from last season. Michael coming back, being his greatest player as he was at that time, he just wasn't up to par. He wasn't ready for a game situation. Looking back at that, I think Michael had a lot more to want to win over than anybody because everybody remembered your last game, and he prepared himself the next season to go out and, for us to dismantle the whole league.
From North Carolina.
That was the year that he went out and filmed his Space Jam commercial. He had this big facility set up in California where he was working out every day. So anytime you hear that about Michael, that he's training, then you know he's not just training just to look good.
Michael drives inside, double pumps and put it in one word by MJ. The bonus. Stripped by Jordan. Breakaway. Over. MJ post up again. Julius. Oh, where did he go, Rex?
This goal here, Jim, they go up 5. Oh, man. Oh, my God, what a play. We have seen this man do some incredible things. But have you ever seen him do anything?
And the next reason that I have on my list is defense. So this one right here is probably the one that gets mostly overlooked. But again, this could also easily be the biggest difference maker to all the other teams that are in the GOAT conversation. The Bulls had the best defensive team of all time. They were as good as the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons, but without the brutality. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman are 3 of the top 10 best defenders of all time. But then you add guys like Ron Harper, who was one of the best guard defenders of his era, plus the John Spider Selly and James Edwards of the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons, and all the other guys were pretty solid too. The Bulls would only allow 92 points per game, which was pretty great if you take into consideration what a fast pace this team plays.
From there, familiar positions.
Rodman trying to get it back, could not. And here is Person rejected by Hart.
Back Cassell feeding Robert Horry and blocked by Dennis Rodman. What a
Wide open. Horry was going to stuff it. Rodman comes in.
Williams. Look to Smith in the baseline and the block by Pippen from in
here. Nice play as Michael Smith goes up.
And then Luke on defense. Watch this erasure here.
Pulls up and shoots anyway, an air ball. The loose ball picked up by Curry.
Just watch Bill Wennington, who lost it, and here comes Barrows. Pippen on the block.
Comes from the back. He makes the block, but there's nobody there to help to pick up the ball. So Fox.
Okay, see if we can pick this up. Comes Scottie from behind. He's trying to block the shot. 5 to go on the shot clock. Thorpe all over Rodman.
Down here, Tony Smith goes on in, and Michael comes from the back and blocks to the left
tonight.
Absolutely.
Due to a groin injury. Look at the movement here. Watch it. Hardaway, the lead. Williams.
And the next reason is the growth of Scottie Pippen. When Michael Jordan had retired a few years prior to 1996, Scottie Pippen suddenly was the main guy on the Bulls team. And this was the best thing that could have ever happened to him in order to grow as a basketball player. He now had the responsibility to carry the team every single night, and he did it in a spectacular way, almost winning the MVP award that year. Now when Michael Jordan came back, Scottie Pippen was even more of a leader and was able to carry the team when Michael Jordan needed a break. You could see that Scottie had a different kind of confidence and was now a true NBA superstar. And coming in with the next reason, the incredible Chicago Bulls bench. As an old school fan, you probably noticed a team is only as good as its bench. And the Chicago Bulls had a great bench in 1996. Steve Kerr, for example, who was percentage-wise the best three-point shooter of all time, he was the perfect addition to the team because once he was open, you knew he would make the three-pointer. Then, as I already mentioned earlier, you had John Spider Selly, who was a great all-around defender. Then you had role players like Randy Brown, Judd Bushla, Bill Wennington, and of course the best sixth man of that year, Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc would have been a superstar on any other team. I mean, this guy came off the bench, but he was a player who could score, who could handle the ball, who could pass, who could shoot from anywhere, so this guy was a solid player. And not to mention, this guy was clutch as hell.
And in his first season, he proved he was ready for playoff pressure.
Kukoc for the win.
He went on to play a key role in 3 Chicago championships in 1996 through 98, while picking up a 6th Man of the Year award along the way.
We don't win without Tony. No one sacrificed more than what Tony Kukoc did. Coming off the bench, he accepted it and he embraced it. One of the best international players to ever come and play in America. His success speaks for that. He's one of the greatest to ever do it.
You know, I wanted to give you guys 7 reasons, but I would have so many more. The durability of that roster, so many guys playing heavy minutes and being able to play 82 games. Then the basketball IQ on this team. The defensive flexibility, you had multiple guys who could guard position 1, 2, 3. The triangle offense and so on. But now let's hear what some of the guys have to say that actually played in this era, and also some of the media guys who were around in those days.
Scottie Pippen walking into the arena the other day runs into Paul Pabst from Dan Patrick's show. Yeah. Paul asks him, if your team from 96 played these Warriors, what would happen? And Scottie said, we would sweep them. The 96 Bulls would sweep the Warriors. Charles, what do you think?
I disagree with Scottie. I think the Warriors would win 1 game.
But it was, we win here. We walked in the game, it was like 50% chance you already won. When you walk with Michael, it's 110 chance you're going to win. The other guys are thinking, I'm not going to get embarrassed. I hope he doesn't dunk on me. Like they were in fear playing us, and that was the most amazing thing.
Tough guys win in this league. Tough guys win in this league. Let me tell you something right now. You put in 23-year-old Draymond Green and 23-year-old Clay and 23-year-old Curry, and you put them in an alley with Rodman and MJ and Pippen, it ain't even close.
You know, I was so happy when The Last Dance documentary came out because it's so hard to explain, especially to the younger generation, how good that team was. So if you haven't seen The Last Dance documentary, definitely check it out. And I hope I could give you some valid reasons why I feel the 96 Bulls were the greatest team of all time. All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.